What up, man? It's Rick Rock. We're going to talk about a few things. We're going to talk about the ROLLIN 70 member that called me yesterday. And then we're going to talk about another event that happened yesterday morning. We're going to talk about that event first, and then we're going to finish it off with the ROLLIN 70 member that hit me up yesterday. Yesterday morning, I got a text message, and it said, come. It had the directions to where I was going, to the location. I look at the text message. I replied back, man, what's going on? They said, just come. Bring your camera equipment. You might want to record some content for your YouTube channel. Now, I ain't going to tell y'all who it was, male or female or anything like that. I'm going to just tell y'all the story and what went through my mind when I witnessed what I witnessed. I get up, I hit these corners and I'm twisting and turning through these little turns, and I make my way to Hollywood Hills. And for y'all that been to Hollywood Hills, y'all already know when you get to Hollywood Hills, you pretty much got an understanding what's going on up in Hollywood Hills, right? I get to the location that I'm going to, and I'm noticing it's a lot of nice high-end cars spread throughout the driveway. So when I see all the cars, I make the phone call. Hey, I'm in the front. Is this the right location? And I want to know off the top who's in here, who's in there. So they came out, met me at the car, told me who was in there. It's cool, ain't no gang members up in here. And I said, all right, cool. When I get up in there, the first thing I notice, soon as I step in, it's dudes up in there, it's females everywhere. They got thongs on, the whole 9 yards. The Hollywood Hill experience, for y'all that have been up in them hills, y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, the environment. So when I walk through, I make sure I survey the whole spot. I go to room, seeing who up in there. There's people in this room, people laid out in this room, half-naked women in this room. So I'm like, okay, they must have been partying all night. They tired. It's the morning time. I make my way back to the living room, and somebody is just, I'm talking about stuffing their nose with a white substance known as cocaine. So I see that, I'm like, okay, this is not nothing new. This is not something I'm not familiar with. I have seen this before. But the way that these people is just bluntly just doing it, it's like, wow, I haven't been around this type of environment in quite some time. I go to another room, the person that invited me there, we go to another room. It's about 4 people up in there. They having a conversation, and they do the same thing. They taking out their stuff, they chopping it up with their cord, and they getting lit. So I'm like, dang, these people up in here is young. These some young people. These is not no old people. I'm probably the oldest person up in there. So I'm looking at this stuff. Everybody's eyes is glossy. Everybody looking like they doing the same thing up in the house, not a party. So the party was last night. It's over at this time I'm there. So I had to get up out of here. I go to the back. One thing about Hollywood Hills, you can overlook Los Angeles. And I like to get that look when I go to Hollywood, whenever I'm in that area. So I'm looking over the city, trying to clear my mind, and took my camera out and I filmed a little bit. And when I turned the camera back towards the house, I could see people standing on a table now and looking like they're trying to swing from the chandelier. I'm like, man, what's going on here? I was invited there because I could have possibly used the house and used a couple of people up in there for some content, but I was like, nah, I don't think I want to put any of these people on my camera in case one of these people overdose up in here or, anything like that. I don't want to be involved with anything that goes on up in here. So I even talked to a couple of people like, man, how old are you? I'm 24. You 24? How old are you? I'm 36. I'm like, wow, man, these are a bunch of youngsters. And it seemed like at that moment I said, is this the drug that everybody is on? Because I remember when everybody was on bud, everybody was smoking bud. Everybody in here is on cocaine. So, make a long story short, I couldn't take a whole lot of that. I got me a bottle of water out the refrigerator and, did a few highs and buys, and I'm out of here. So I get on. And I get back to the house, I call my cousin, I say, man, I figured out what's going on out here. He said, what? I said, man, all these youngsters is on cocaine. He said, what you mean? I told him, well, I just went the same thing I'm telling y'all. I'm like, man, everybody had they little personal tutor, and they rolling up the money and they snorting and they all on cocaine. This is why a lot of stuff is going on. A lot of these people can't function. Man, a lot of these people need to check themselves and rehab. I couldn't believe it, man. Now, this might be something new to me. You know what I'm saying? I have seen people do it before, but the way that these people was doing it in front of everybody, I'm talking about some beautiful young ladies was in there, didn't care who seen it. It wasn't like they was going in the bathroom hiding like you see on the movie when people use cocaine. They was doing it in front of everybody like this was the thing to do. I didn't know that, y'all. I know that everybody was on cocaine, and maybe that's the reason why a lot of these crimes that we seeing. You know, I was saying that it could be something to do with their mental health, which is true. But a lot of these people is on cocaine, y'all. Crazy, tripped me out. But anyway, to the ROLLIN 70 member, man. I think his name is Craze. If you guys seen the video, he was the dark-skinned dude with the beard, one of the older guys that was talking. He hit me up on Instagram, and he said, man, I didn't like the way that you know what I'm saying, that you talked about the neighborhood, and it was a few things on there that rubbed me the wrong way. And I could have jumped on the internet and poured gas on the situation. For y'all that don't know what that means that he could have went back and forth with me and said some disrespectful things to make me respond back in a certain way, because I did talk about the things that was going on in his neighborhood with the video, as well as a couple of other YouTubers. So I read his message, I left him my number, I said, call me. No, I take that back. I asked him what was his number. So he shot me his phone number. Later on that day, I called him. And I said, hey, what's going on? He said, who this? I said, it's Rick Rock. He immediately expressed how he felt about the video that I did. And he stated, he said, man, I didn't like the way that the same thing he said in the text, I didn't like the way that you talked about the hood and one of the apartment buildings that you talk about. You know, we young dudes out here, and you know what I'm saying, we trying to get this and get that together. You know, those buildings cost 1.9 million, and he just went on, you know what I'm saying, and he was just expressing how he felt, right? About, you know, me and other podcasters or other YouTube dudes that's talking about the ROLLIN 70 video that went viral. So I let him do his talking, and then I did my talking. I said, listen, homie, I said, in no form or fashion do I come in disrespect, or did I come in disrespect with the video. The only thing I was trying to do was enlighten you guys. Everybody not gonna get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not bigger than you. My hood is no different from yours. We all do the same criminal activity. You know what I'm saying? Every neighborhood does the same thing. Nobody's neighborhood is bigger or better or different than the other neighborhood. They all do the same, you know, activity. I broke it down to him like, I said something about the apartment building that you guys was hanging out that you don't own. I said, when I get on this microphone and talk, bro, I come from a place that where I'm not only talking to y'all, it's a lot of more people that I might be talking to, and they might grasp the information and run with it and say, you know what, I didn't look at it the way that the homie Rock was explaining. I said, you a homie, y'all rips, you know what I'm saying? Even though I get on the internet and I talk how I talk and I express how I feel towards street activity, you know what I'm saying? I'm still from a neighborhood. I come from somewhere. I'm not a gangbanger. I am a member. And I let him know that I want to see young dudes out here winning. I want to see young dudes getting money. I'm tired of seeing young dudes getting their head knocked off. I'm tired of seeing young dudes go to the penitentiary. Let's get the money. Let's focus on getting bread. Let's get paper. And, you know, we went on like that, and by the end of the conversation, he understood where I was coming from. He didn't take it as disrespect. He just wanted to get a clear understanding on what I was saying in the video, because a lot of his enemies is on the internet making fun of him. And I told him, I said, not once did I disrespect your neighborhood, and two, not once did I call any one of y'all a buster, a sucker, or call y'all out y'all name, anything like that. If anything, when you go back and look at it, you're going to say, you know what, if I take my ego and my pride out of it, the homie was saying some real stuff in the video. It's a lot of youngsters that's going to look at that video, probably not today, tomorrow, a couple days, that might run into it and say, you know what, he spit some facts. Everybody's mind got to get to a certain point and a certain level to understand what I'm talking about. So anyway, I told him, I said, man, you got a viral moment. You might want to utilize that to start your own YouTube channel and get on there and you know, express how you feel on here, because you'll never win this internet. You'll never beat the internet. You can get down with as many dudes you want to get down with over the, you know what I'm saying, the topics that they're talking about your neighborhood. You can pull your gun out and shoot up many as people as you want to. You will never win. You will end up in prison, or you will end up hurt behind trying to defeat the internet. You can't beat the internet. Nobody will. It's a lot of things that I put on here, a lot of things that I say. Now, if I went and looked for every dude that said something about me or said something about something that I was saying in the comment section, then man, I'd be twisted. It'd be over with for me. So anyway, man, shout out to that dude. I believe his name was Craze. I'm not for sure if that's his name or not, but I respect the fact that he had enough integrity about himself to hit me up and make sure that we get a conversation going. A lot of times that's what it takes. A lot of y'all don't even know how to handle a conversation. A lot of y'all want to go straight to violence. It's a lot of dudes on the internet, especially a lot of dudes from the West Coast. I'm not going to even say the West Coast. It's a lot of dudes from LA County that's on here real emotional. They gossip like bras. Everything they do is hoish. You know what I'm saying? They got hoish behavior, and you know, it makes the internet on this side of town look just so plastic and so watered down and so fake. YouTube need to come with a button where you can block these people like they do on Instagram and other platforms. We need to block a lot of these dudes, man. These dudes is so emotional, man. It's so hoish. It's ridiculous. So when dude reached out to me and we had that conversation and it ended with we both had an understanding of where I was going and I had to understand where he was going, let him know, man, it ain't no disrespect. Just look at the things that I'm saying. You might not be ready for it today. Save the video and look at it probably a year from now. Because I'm gonna tell y'all something. A lot of these hood vlogs that y'all see that's on the internet right now, a lot of those dudes not gonna make it. A lot of these dudes on these hood vlogs is gonna be examples for why the next person might have changed his life. If you see me right now with 10, 15 dudes and we doing the gangsters, you know, saying the gangster shit, and we doing the criminal activity, 9 times out of 10, out of that 15, we might lose 8 people. We might lose 10 people. But losing those 10 peoples are going to be the reason why the other 5 say, you know what, I don't want to go out how the homie went out. Man, I'm gonna learn from his mistake how he got life in prison. And some of y'all gonna be examples for some of us to go to the next top, for some of us to become CEOs of a business. Some of these dudes gonna be examples. You know what I'm saying? Like that building, for instance, that they didn't own. It's gonna be one person that might say, you know what? Let me own something in the community. Let me own something in the hood. That's if you want to stay in the hood. 9 times out of 10, when a person get money, the first thing they do is move out the hood. They don't want to stay in the hood anyway. So that's if you want to own property in your neighborhood. But yeah, everybody not gonna make it, y'all. We all not gonna make it. There's gonna be a whole lot of people that's gonna pass away from what we represent, and that's just the reality of it. So when you see a person getting on here, it ain't like he preaching or think he better than y'all or anything like that. When a person make it to be my age, and I still got a little ways to go, I have experienced a whole lot of stuff. I've seen people die in front of me. You know what I'm saying? I done went to jail for murder, and I'm not proud of that. It was at the time. That's what it was. That's what it was. That's what I was on. We was out there gang banging, and that comes with the territory. But do I glorify that? No, not in no form of fashion. I don't get on here and praise that and talk about that. So yeah, to the dude from the Rollin 70 video, start your YouTube channel. You got a viral moment, you and your homeboys, maybe that the information that me and you talked about, you probably could spread it through to some of the dudes that got the intellect. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like you was the head runner in the situation. You was doing all the talking, you and another guy, but you was mainly doing all the talking. And it seemed like to me you got your mind on right. You know what I'm saying? I understand your position, understand where you're coming from. But yeah, man, for all the young dudes that watch my show and all the grown men that watch my show, if we on the same path, on the same page of understanding, then you understand where I'm coming from. And for the ones that don't, you know what I'm saying, once you get on this internet and you do these reviews and things like that, you do got to go back into the streets and face reality, which is no thing for me. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a problem with going out there and meet somebody that might feel some type of way about something I said on the internet, because it's going to be what it's going to be. It's going to be what it is. It's going to be what it's going to be, and it is what it is. 9 times out of 10, you can't show me nowhere where I show disrespect. So if you come at me and you know that I didn't show disrespect, you know 9 times out of 10 you in the wrong. So whatever happened, it's going to happen. But we're not promoting that or hoping that. We're hoping that, just like the young dude, we can have a conversation. Sometimes all it takes is a conversation. That's it. Another thing I explained to him before I get up out of here, because he's not the first dude that contacted me about something that has something to do with the internet. I said, man, you know what? Do you guys call the local police department or the news channel and correct them on something that they might have said when they came over here and did a video in your neighborhood? Because 9 times out of 10, these news channels be lying. Do y'all call them and explain to them about what y'all don't like about the content that they do? Because the news channels got YouTube channels and the police departments got YouTube channels. They monetize and they make money off the same content that everybody else make money off of. So before you dudes contact somebody on the internet, make sure y'all contact them police departments and them news channels, and also question them on why they said some of the lies that they say when they cover murders and other criminal activity in y'all community. Compton RICC ROC, Compton RICC ROC TV. Go on to the next one.